some things are worth repeating. All right, here we go, Guadalupe Peak. Here at the cliff. All right, there it is, summit of Guadalupe Peak. Beautiful morning. Man, I wish I could continue over to Shoemorton Bush right now, but what is usually the case for me is I'm kind of on a tighter time schedule here. My wife and son are hopefully still sleeping at the hotel in Van Horn, so I need to get some views, get some footage on the way down, but just get back and go see them, maybe even make it in time for breakfast there, which I think I will, and then make the drive back to home. Yeah, we're on our way back from Arizona right now. Just spent a week out there. My wife's due with our daughter in 4 weeks, so this could be my last trip for a while, maybe for a long while. So I had to just come and get this in again, just get one more trip into the Guadalupes. Yeah, it's a beautiful morning here. Windy, sort of, as usual at the top here. I figured there would be some. It was really calm whenever I started, but it picked up a little bit more throughout the hike. It is definitely a cool view from down there looking up at El Capitan and Guadalupe Peak. Not as impressive as it is further away. Further away they look even better. Definitely, I think, viewing the range from the west side is one of the best views you can get around here. Yeah, after all the off-trail stuff I've done, actually doing this and then continuing on the bush, Bartlett and bush really does not look that tough at all. Man, I wish I could do it right now. I should call my wife and just tell her to get the hotel for another night. And I don't have enough supplies with me to do this, but I carried 3 liters of water with me and just a couple bars, long sleeve shirts. Pretty much that's it. So not my usual hiking supplies, and I'm in running shoes. But yeah, really, it's long, but it's not that difficult, really. I'm gonna get it done if I get the opportunity in the next year. I'm gonna plan on a few days out here if possible and just do the 4 peaks, at least the 4 highest in Texas. But yeah, this could very well be my last trip anyway. Coming back again may not work out, so this could be it, and that's fine if it is. Pretty hazy out, still beautiful, but not the views that there could be from here. All right, I've been up here about 18 minutes. Took in some nice views. It is time to get back down, and I'm going to film a little bit more of the trail on the way down for anyone who hasn't been here yet and who's interested in what the hike is like. There's 3 guys coming up right now. I want to say they camped out, but maybe not. There were a couple cars in the parking lot. I'm gonna ask them. These are some awesome views just coming off the summit right here. So the 3 guys coming up camped out here last night. and they said there was lightning all around and really strong winds. Yeah, I could tell it was storming up here. I drove into Van Horn last night. We got there around 10:15 maybe p.m. and you could tell there were storms all in the area up here. So those guys had it rough. But man, this is beautiful. Up here in the pine trees, hearing the birds chirping. Calm now. Nice morning. Man, this is awesome. This is basically the trail up here. Lots of switchbacks. There it is. And it keeps going down. There's a little downhill here where the elevation drops about 50 feet. I'll be coming up to a bridge in a second. But yeah, for the most part, you're climbing. This section's the longest downhill stretch on the way up. Well, the oak trees really look nice, or whatever these are. I think these are oak right here. And here's the bridge. Cool section here, just cut into the cliff. Here's the turnoff to the Guadalupe Peak campground. So I'm heading back this way, but this is the way you'd be coming up. This is a rocky section right here. It's pretty, or at least more level. So you'd be able to make a really good time if the trail was less rocky. So that's where I'm heading from there. The trail basically switchbacks in and out of the forest up here, but you're more forested on this section of the hike. So this might be your biggest step right here, or at least one of your biggest steps. There's a few up higher too, closer to the summit, but that's pretty much it. Yeah, I don't know if you'll ever get a completely calm day up here. I guess you could consider like 10 miles an hour calm winds, but it's pretty much somewhat windy all the time, as far as I know. Well, this might be one of my last looks at Guadalupe Peak. And there it is up there. I've realized this already, but looking at it again, I realized that my brother and I made a mistake of skirting the slope of Guadalupe Peak when we did Guadalupe Peak. We should have just went to the summit of Guadalupe. We probably would have actually had an easier time that way. Now, we had both summited it before, and so I figured anyway, let's just cut across, maybe it'll save some energy, but I found skirting the slopes when you're going off trail is oftentimes harder than actually just going, straight up and then back down. All right, well, I just came from up there and I'm back at what I always call trail crest. It's not really a trail crest, but it's just a level spot where everyone kind of stops and takes a break. So yeah, there's Guadalupe Peak. The one on the left actually is the high point, or close to it anyway. But that's pretty much it. Over here is kind of the high point before you get to Bush Mountain. Bush Mountain's a little further back. You can't see the summit of that. Here's this little high point right here. And then that one up there is Hunter Peak. So I think from here I have about 1.4 miles back, maybe a little bit more, and then I think 1,200 feet of descent. Okay, here you can see the trail just switching back. And that's basically what it does. Coming up this really steep section here. I hear some people coming up. So I saw the 3 guys, but they camped out, so I haven't run into anyone that's actually hiking up from the base yet, but I should pretty soon. Here come some people right now. So yeah, it's a Monday, the first Monday in June. Probably won't be too crowded today, but you could probably hike this any day of the year and see somebody else, I would think. For the most part, you're gonna run into people since it is a state high point. A little bit of an uphill back here to this cliff section. And here's the cliff. It's a pretty steep drop here, but there's plenty of room. Oh, I just had to switch memory cards. I knew I was running low, but I'm back to the woodpecker. Didn't notice him in the dark, but it's a pretty obvious landmark here. I think I only have 9/10 of a mile to go back down, maybe a little bit less. So not much from here. Here's a look at Pine Canyon here. Hunter Peak's above that. And the campground is just right down here. All right, I made it back. It's about a 2-hour and 35-minute round trip. I spent about 20 minutes at the summit, maybe a little bit less. I think it's at 18, and just kind of took my time in places on the way down. Got some footage and enjoyed the views. But yeah, this might be it. This could be the last one for the Guadalupe Mountains. If I do come back, it's going to be to do the 4 peaks, the 4 highest peaks together. I've done them all separately, but I'd like to string them together and see what it's like. But yeah, that was a fun hike. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope I can make it back. But if this is my last hike here, or my last hike in Texas, I really enjoyed it. Can't wait to see what the future brings though. Well, I made it in time.